Hello friends, you've come across another daily race run-through video. On today's edition, we focus on Deep Forest Reverse in Group 4 cars. This is a track where I definitely prefer the standard direction much more than reverse, mainly because of this part right here. However, in Group 4 cars, which I feel very comfortable in normally, I decided to focus on this combo. While there were many more Lamborghinis in the field, I decided to give the Bugatti a go. Setups also surprisingly were available for this race, so I used a modified version of a tune that I saw on stream, which was the tune of the top time in the world at the moment. With that, it was time to get to work. Given that the top time in the world on Monday was a low 31 on a minute-and-a-half lap, I was pretty sure that I'd have to have a 31.9 or a high 31 myself to be competitive. But after an hour of practice and going around the laps, a 32.3 was all I could actually manage. On this first race that we tried, it was good enough for 5th on the grid, and in this first race we finished 7th, which not too bad after being as low as 10th at one point. Then comes this second race that we did, which was, well, it was good and interesting. This race will also showcase the differences between the Veyron and the Lamborghini. Also a Bugatti behind me. Sorry, T. I kind of got pushed into you. Sounds bogus. Brake a little bit early. Oof. That was very close to clipping the wall. I protected the apex. Guy hit me in the back instead of the side. We gained positions. See how much time we gain on him. 1/10. The Veyron is an absolute weapon in the straight. Unless the Lambo is right behind you on the beginning of a straightaway, it has no chance of getting past or even beside the Veyron. Conversely, if the Veyron has any slipstream from a Lambo up in front, the gap decreases monumentally. He's trying to break the toe. I mean, it's honestly not fair. He got a good run on the outside. And this right here, this was a great battle. But until this happened right here. No, dude, that's blocking. That's blocking. That's just dumb, dude. Alright, let's not let it bother us. Now, at the time, I truly believed that it was in fact deliberate. But upon looking at the replay the next day, I thought that it could have been accidental. And he was actually just maintaining the racing line and didn't know that I was coming up beside him. Props to Canepo, because he would come on the stream the next day and actually apologize and let me know that it was an accident. And from there, we've been good. And it did honestly seem a little out of character as we were having clean battles throughout the night. Now, I was really starting to feel like a victory was in the cards, and we were going for it. But the next race, our time was putting us 9th on the grid, and that's just too far back. So it was time to get that 31 for sure. Come on. Am I doing the math right? Yes! This time would put us 2nd on the grid. And that's basically my favorite spot to start on a track. Picking up from the 2nd lap, and we go straight by P1. Like, not even beside, but all the way past him. I was feeling good up until the hairpin at lap 3, where I just went a little too wide on exit. That was good, right? No half second. Half second. Nut bunnies. After that happened and El Gungi passes me, he drove almost flawlessly after that, except he would provide me with a ray of hope at the end. Alright. Just spices it up a little bit, doesn't it? Let's go. He's got a half second. He's got a 1 second! Now, most of the time, I've seen the game double the penalty time if it can't be served in that same exact lap, like it's the end of the race, so it has no chance, or the racer has no chance to go to the penalty zone. But, for whatever reason, the game just kept it as a 1 second penalty, and we end up keeping P2. That was how that night ended, coming up a little short, and it kept me thinking of what could have been. I decided the next day to give the Lambo a go. My thought was to try the quali with the Huracan and race with the Veyron because of its superior top speed. And a faster quali came relatively shortly, less than a second off the top time of the world. Props to G-Wizzy too and Chad for providing the setups for the car. who, by the way, had a 31.5 himself. This would end up giving me multiple pole positions in the next few races. But the story of the day was starting pole and losing spots within the first few laps. I was getting pens, I was making mistakes, so it was past time to take the advice that Coach would given me a few races back. Use the Lambo. And yeah, I should have done it sooner. Not all the finishes were great after getting the Lambo, but the racing was really great. It was really fantastic. Yes, I didn't have the top speed that I had before, but all the turns were so much more clean, so much more consistent, and I was in so much more control. The feature race for this daily race run through is the one here, where I started pole and did everything I could to keep it, and well, it made for some really, really great racing. Pick up here at lap 2, and I've managed to hold them off so far for the last couple of laps. That was too much slidey, but it kind of looked cool. Oh, thank you for subscribing, bud. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much. You're one of those 500 more awesome people we've been looking for. Pablo was showing some real patience here as we look at the beginning of lap 3. He wasn't immediately overtaking me on the straights, which he could have done, but instead he kept pushing me. He was going for the long game. Poor Pablo keeps getting slammed. Beginning of lap 4, and I'm starting to believe that maybe, just maybe, I could pull this off. However, these thoughts were definitely coming to me a little too soon, as P2 through P4 were right up behind me at the end of lap 4. Well, Pablo crashed. Rosado, who is really quick, ends up pulling up right beside me on the straightaway. I always try to defend while on the outside. Just because I'm on the outside, I never really think that it's over until it actually is. And we end up staying side by side for a while here, as you can see, and managed to stave him off, except I braked just a bit too late going into the tunnel, and both Rosado and Max get by me, with Pablo not too far behind. This would set up what would be one of the best final laps I've ever been a part of. Not necessarily because of where I finished, but because of the great racing there was between all of us. Check it out. He gave me the push. I thought he was going to hit the wall. Oh, it says I cut the track. I guess that's probably right. Oh my goodness. Oh, Pablo, he skidded. That's crazy. Fourth place energy. That was a really great race. Oh man. Bros. Oh, that was wild. It was fun. That was fun. So that pen appears to be from me having all 4 tires on the inside of the white line, as we see right here. The margins were just so close between us 4. And it ends up doubling my half-second pen into a full second, so we end up with that 4th place energy that Dragon Joey loves so much. For which we now have a special emoji. While first place eluded us this week, it was still some great racing. My only regret was not turning to the Lambo for the races sooner. And that will do it for this edition of Daily Race Run Through. If you are enjoying this, please consider giving it a like. And if you aren't a subscriber to the Ledpencil channel, please become one today so you can stay up to date on all the live streams, videos, and shorts that we put out on a regular basis. Later, friends. So the next day, I decided to give the Lambo a go. My thought was to try the quali in the Huracan and race with the Veyron, as it had that... Well, that wasn't going too well anyway.